Hello, cheeseheads. Welcome to the after show party, as if it were. Brendan McGurty, how are you?
Uh, I'm all right. I'm dealing with it. But
So
when you expect it, when you expect the worst, it doesn't really hurt as much. So, yeah, I'm good.
the,
Hot,
the
really
highlight
hot.
the highlight of this weekend is my little daughter, my 2-year-old, has just made me a little cake. So
Oh,
I'm happy. That's as good as the day's got, really. Thanks for coming on and sharing some misery with us, guys. Please do let us know you're here. Drop your comment in the comment box. We're going to try and get through everything in there in the next sort of 45 minutes to an hour. Pretty disappointing performance, Bren. Straight off the bat, I thought we had a good first half. We had a good first half. They had a goal ruled out. Talk us through that. Do you think it should have been ruled out?
it was soft. The contact was minimal, but there was contact in the face towards the eye, and I think he didn't book him because it was so soft, because it was such a light brush, but it was still a foul, and it got us out of jail. Dyer was just ball watching. Rodon as
I
well
was dire.
didn't shower himself in glory. So yeah, I think we got off one there, but yeah, the rest. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the first half. Really, I thought it was pretty even. Obviously, we came out 1-0 up at half time, but it was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But overall, we just knew it. The inevitability of it was just crazy.
I mean, what did I predict in the preview?
I knew you'd bring this up.
It literally panned out, more or less, as I said, a valiant effort, yeah, that petered into capitulation in the second half. And 3-1 was the predicted score. I'm sorry, I hate predicting defeats, but, I'm just looking at the comments. I can quite clearly see that Joel's there. He's saying, no surprise, same old, throw Dyer and Orion, expect them to have a 9 out of 10. Sakara, Dyer and Saikara, I should say. Dyer and Oriet fault for the second. What a fucking surprise. Michael saying rant time. Yeah, it is. Keep them coming in. And Metcalf saying not an unexpected result. Why would you predict anything different? I suppose, Brendan.
Well, I went for 2-1 because I was with Matt Hayes, who was on the pod in the week, the sort of video pod we did on Thursday previewing the game. I kind of thought, well, maybe we'd turn up and we competed, I guess, but it's Mourinho's decisions with his lineups. I mean, we're going to go into Toby, I'm sure, but why isn't he starting Toby? What's going on? He's our best defender by a mile. Yeah. Eric Dyer has let us down time and time again, as has Sanchez. Rodon, bless him, he's been thrown in at the deep end, and he's performing fairly well considering where we are. But
he's champions. He's not top of the Premier League material, though, is he? Right now, he doesn't say right now in the future, but to throw him in against big teams like Man United, Europa League, it's too much for the guy to expect him to win matches single-handedly. If he was top talent, then obviously yes, but he's got a long way to go, in my opinion. I find it frustrating. I mean, let's start by looking at the lineup. I'm guessing a lot of people will be fairly satisfied with that lineup, apart from the defence. But you'd have said to bring Serge back probably made sense, did it not?
Yeah, I'm all right with Serge. He's solid enough. He gets forward, like he did knock a few balls in. And Doherty's injured, so it kind of solves the problem there. Tanganga's done okay there, but he's not a natural right back. He is more of a central defender, although Jose questions his height, I'm assuming, which is why he doesn't play him there. But Toby and Bale as well. Why bother signing Bale if you're not going to play him in these games? You're going to play him against Man United at home.
Look. I've spent all this money on a Bale shirt. What a waste. Well, I didn't actually. The missus bought it for Christmas.
I thought your missus, I was going to say, your missus got you that.
Well, it came out of my family budget pot, didn't it? I'm not saying I bought this shirt, just in case she's watching the show, but it came out of the household budget. Why did I invest in a shirt for someone who's not even been in the team? It's so disappointing. Dyer at centre-back. Why was he in the team, Bren? Why?
Well, because Sanchez had a mare.
Because he wasn't Sanchez. He's in the team because he wasn't Sanchez.
I know. Well, we might have a shot then, but no. Sanchez had a mare against Newcastle. There's clearly something going on between Jose and Toby. Jose's racking up the spats with our players, and he's lost half the team at least. He's fallen out with how many? With obviously Dele is the main one, but so many of our players.
Was he Dele? Was he on the bench? Didn't even see him.
Not been on the bench for a while.
No.
But it's just, why are we not playing our best players? We've got Bale. We're paying him. We're paying 200 grand a week of his wages, of his 600 grand wages.
Yeah.
Play him.
Yeah.
We've got Toby. He's a Rolls Royce. He's getting on a bit, but he's still our best defender. Why are you not playing him?
He's a rusty Rolls Royce, but he's a classic nonetheless.
He is.
Neil Williams here saying Mourinho has to explain why he won't play Toby. Neil, I hear you.
Agreed.
I hear you. I'd love to know. Saikara saying Tanganga is more than proving himself to start ahead of Aurier. Could you say that, Bren? I'm just going to open a window. It's warm in here, and it's because I'm ranting.
It's much of a muchness. Tanganga's done well, but Aurier does have a better final ball, and so I understood Aurier. I was fine with Aurier starting. I think Tanganga is a great squad player at the moment. He's just sort of caught in that we don't really know where to play him bit. Is he going to be a central defender like he wants to be? Like he's been all through the ranks for us up until now, or is he going to be played at right back? But I was fine with Aurier. The glaring decision here was not playing Toby and putting Dyer back in. Dyer's let us down time and time again, as has Sanchez. Toby, there's clearly something going on. Jose's lie last week, because he did lie when he said he came back late from international duty, where he performed valiantly, as did Bale. And came back late and didn't do his COVID test or some crap like that. And then
he was in training.
Hang on, he was in training. He was in the club published photos of him training. So I just, Jose, just
it's a wonder. It's a wonder Jose hasn't fallen out with the club photographer like he did the club doctor at Chelsea for publishing those pictures. To be honest. Okay, I mean, we could go on talking about the back four, but the back four has been an issue all season. Midfield, I suppose that's my ideal midfield, really. Højbjerg, Solso and Tanguy on Dembele. But functioned all right in the first half, didn't it? And it kind of got worse, in my opinion, when we took the Celso off and put Sissoko on. I mean, what was that all about?
Again, I kind of understood that in that the Celso is just coming back from a long-term, or from being out long-term. Sissoko comes in and runs about a bit, does a bit of a job. So I was okay with that, I guess. It kind of blunted us a bit more going forward, because Sissoko just doesn't do that. He's a bit more, you'd hope he was a bit more disciplined. He didn't put in a great performance when he did come on today. But I kind of understood that, because United were dominating midfield. They were pushing forwards. They were getting great chances, and they deserved to win.
Well, they did, unfortunately, and I don't want to be right on my predictions all the time. Absolutely not, especially when it involves us losing. FP's Mr. Parker is saying not surprised at the result. The way it happened was very frustrating, but not particularly frustrating either. I think he means surprising either. We can't hold Leeds and United, our comeback kings. We certainly haven't been able to hold them this season, as Joel alludes to with this comment. 18 points dropped from winning positions. That's not coincidence. That's management. We all agree that in a one-off game, Jose is the master. But it will take Christ to win the League Cup. I've got it on my list of things to talk to you about, Brendan, so I may as well cover it quickly now. Are we going to win the League Cup? Is there any chance whatsoever? Leeds obviously beat City yesterday.
Yeah, obviously there's a chance. On any day, there's 11 against 11. Anyone can beat anyone. And like you said, Leeds did them yesterday, so they're not totally invincible. United beat them fairly recently as well. But they're so good, and we're just not. We're not. Like, I don't think. I'd love to go in there with optimism. I'll be honest. I am quite dreading that final. I don't think they're gonna destroy us, but we'll lose. We'll lose valiantly.
100%.
We'll put up a bit of a fight, but we'll lose probably 3 or 4-1 towards the end. So yeah, no, in my opinion, I can't see us winning that game. It can happen. We got a result against them earlier this season. We got a result against them last season. The Champions League, obviously, they're a couple of, God, feels like a lifetime ago. It was 2 years ago now. So we can get at them, but they're machines, and they've won this 3 times in a row, the League Cup now.
More than that, maybe. It's a lot. My fear is we get spanked and embarrassed. I mean, if I'm being really honest, that's where I'm worried, because City can do that to teams when they're in the mood, and they will have revenge on their mind when they play us in a one-off game after what we did to them in the Champions League a couple of years ago. And I just think it's a dangerous one. I feel so positively negative about Spurs right now, which is not my forte. Oi! The small beer glass has made an appearance. I wondered how long that would take. What are we on? We're on 17 minutes before the small beer glass. Bren, what are you drinking today? Cheer me up. What are you drinking?
This is it. Can we do product placement?
What is it?
Brahma Duplo Mulch.
Brahma? We have Brahma over here. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. It's beer in Brazil is very weak and very light, and Brahma Duplo Mulch is probably one of the more embodied beers.
Now, what I did do was promise a lot of people drunk Brendan on the video pod today.
Not quite. More angry Brendan than drunk.
We're not quite there, and you promised me. I gave Brendan a call today when I was sort of saying, should we do an after show watch party, and I was on the way to the tip, and Brendan was like, yeah, man, but I'm going to be hammered. So I'm disappointed that you're not. I'm drinking some Estrella. So, yeah, let us know what you're drinking in the comments box below. And if you're sipping anything that makes you think we're going to win the League Cup, then put that in there, because we all need some of that good shit as well.
One thing on the League Cup that might play into our favour is that City will probably still be in the Champions League. They are still in the Champions League, aren't they? Yeah. And they will have, I think, a semi-final leg a couple of days after the game, and we're out of Europe now, so they may be resting some players with the Champions League in mind, because that is the one. They've got the league tied up, the League Cup, so maybe they will have their concentration on something else, i.e. the Champions League. So that's the only thing I can think, the only positive I can think of in terms of us getting a win.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I mean, Jose, I think we discussed on the pod the other day, he's probably got till the end of the season purely because, A, we're not going to get anyone in now. B, it would be really, really expensive to sack him and might be cheaper if we miss out on European qualification, if you believe what's been published in the press. And C, he's got the League Cup final, which people would describe as salvation. And we were very close to the top 4. So 2 questions for you, Bren, and for you guys at home. Number 1, is top 4 gone now? Is that it? Gone? Totally? Gone? Forget it? Europa League best we can do. Second question, is Jose gone at the end of the season? And not what you want to happen, what you think's going to happen.
Well, what we want to happen is to win every game and finish as high as we can and win every trophy, irrespective of what it means in terms of management. I want us to win every game, but I can't see us getting top 4. West Ham, this looks like the season where they will finish above us. Their win today, although Leicester put up a bit of a fight back at the end, kind of put them a bit, 5 points ahead of us now? 6?
Yeah.
6? Chelsea as well. They won yesterday quite comfortably against Palace. I can't see us catching them. Maybe Chelsea will be slightly distracted again by the Champions League, but still, they've got 2 teams that are playing for one another. They've got 2 teams that are a collective. We spoke about this in the Patreon in the Patreon chat in Slack. That they are a collective. West Ham are a better collective than our group of individuals.
I mean, that hurts.
And it's true though. And they recruited well.
West Ham like they are something. They're nothing. They are scum.
They are 6 points ahead of us with what?
Stadium
6 games left. They deserve to be where they are. They recruited very well. I think I said this in the Patreon chat as well. Like Kufal, Souček, and Dawson have been incredible signings for them. Incredible additions, and they cost less than Sessegnon.
This is the thing. This is the thing. Everyone, right? So for me, 2 players ran that game today for United. One very expensive, Pogba. I thought he was excellent. I did laugh at whoever put it in the Patreon chat that you can tell how much Pogba hated Jose by how much effort he puts in when we play them. True that. And the second player I thought who run the game was Cavani. Now I listened to a lot of Enoch out and all the rest of it, and I tongue-in-cheek tweeted at half-time, Enoch's responsible for this when we're 1-0 up, because I think that the in-outs are a load of nonsense for the most part. But the point is, a lot of people are saying we should be spending this on a player, that on a player, the other on a player. There are players out there like Cavani, like those 3 guys West Ham have signed who've transformed their team, who cost less than Sessegnon. We don't need to spend a lot of money. Our recruitment is just crap. Why didn't we sign someone like Cavani? He bossed that up front. You knew when that ball came over and he scored that header, that was a Cavani goal all over. All over. Seen him do it so many times before. You knew he'd be on the end of it. It's just frustrating, isn't it?
Well, you look at it from Cavani's position. Who would you rather play for? Who would you rather have the shirt and sort of having your repertoire of teams? Obviously, he'll go to United over Spurs. I'm not annoyed that Cavani went to United. I'm annoyed that Dyer couldn't pick him up. You could sort of see it happening, his headed goal. Dyer's in front of him. He doesn't know what's going on behind him. He doesn't look around. He doesn't. And you could just see it happening before it happened, that second goal. Yeah. It was laughable. But no, I mean, Cavani will always go to the big clubs. United are a bigger club than us, without question. So I'm not surprised he went there. I don't think that we can. If United and Spurs come in for a player, 99 times out of 100, they'll go for United. And Cavani just made sense for them. Again, he's not done that much for them this season. But he just turned up against us. And it's just so Spurs.
It is so Spurs. I'm sure Cavani had a blinder last time we played him. Not the 6-1, obviously. But yeah. I'm stepping things up a bit now, Bren. You know what this is? This is Beavertown Lupaloid IPA.
Beavertown.
Yeah,
we had a beer in Beavertown in the stadium, didn't we?
We did, man. And you know what? I'd love nothing more than to stone cold Steve Austin you with a couple of these. Just literally. There's nothing more satisfying than that can pull opening, is there? Especially when you drown in your sorrows after a shit defeat.
I'm all right, to be honest. We spoke about this on the preview as well.
Expected it.
I'm still a bit meh. I'm annoyed. I'm angry, but it's kind of the acceptance is coming. What did you call it? Resignation. And you're kind of like, well, did we expect much from this game, really? So I'm all right. There's a party going on downstairs.
There's always a party. Literally, I get WhatsApp from Brent. Yeah, man, had a heavy night last night. And that is 5 nights of the week. The man is on it. I tell you, there's always a party in Brazil, COVID or no COVID.
When I get my vaccine? I get my vaccine in 4 months. There's an app where you can calculate when you'll get your vaccine.
4 months?
Based on where you are in Brazil. 4 months is my prognosis. So,
I mean, and you're in the 50 age group, aren't you?
I'm 6 months younger than you.
Yeah. I know. It doesn't look like it, though, does it? Tom's drinking Guinness. Well done, Tom. May need to switch to gin after that match. Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. Michael said, and I flashed it up on the screen, City's under-21s could beat us right now, but the players don't want to play for Jose now. Do you think Jose's lost the dressing room? I mean, you touched on it before. You said, and there's another comment coming in saying several players. He's alienated half the squad. He can't sell that many players. Brad, do you think they're playing for him? And do you think, ultimately, is he going to be there next season? Yes or no? You didn't really give me a proper answer.
He he's lost most of the players, I think. Obviously, you've got the professionals. So I think Harry is still going to give... I thought Harry played quite well today. Tongi did okay. There are players that are still playing. Højbjerg, I thought, played relatively well today. But yeah, of course he has. Of course there are players that he's isolated, that he's cut out, that he's lost. So the dressing room, it's a very footballing cliche, like losing the dressing room. So he's not there, but I think most of the players are just like, nah, I'm done with this guy. And he's done with them as well. We've said about this before in the Jose and Out pod we did, that his opinion of modern day footballers is of disdain. It's sort of like they're not men. They're not like Lampard and John Terry were. They're not men. They're pampered. Yeah, they are. But you, as a man, if you want to manage these players, you have to understand that and adapt. He clearly hasn't. He clearly doesn't want to do that sort of arm around the shoulder bit, sort of not slag them off, not do them in public. Like the comment last week, the same coach, different players. That was disgraceful. I get Roy Keane sort of saying, well, it's true, the players have a soft underbelly, etc. But at the same time, you don't say that. You don't say that publicly. You've got to work out better ways to motivate your players. You say that like in any walk of life. I think Seb said this on the pod as well, that in any walk of life, you can't do what he does. That's not motivational. That doesn't inspire people the way he goes about doing things. And he is yesterday's man. Like 15 years ago, without question, the best manager on the planet. But football is a dynamic process. People change, the world changed, societies change, and he hasn't. And that's the sad thing, because he said at the beginning that he's had time out, he's reflected, all this bollocks. But no, he's still...
I've reflected, but ultimately I can't change. Even if I can see what I know that I need to change, I can't change. And I think I think that's the truth of it. I think he knows his shortcomings, but for whatever reason he can't adapt. And I don't think it's a lack of wanting to. I go back to the start of the season and we were playing negative defensive football. We got to a position where we were top of the league. We took good points from games. There was a lot of pressure from the fans at the time that this isn't Tottenham, we're not playing. And he mixed it up. He did change it. He started attacking teams more. And it hasn't worked, to be honest, because the defensive organisation's been rubbish and we can't defend the lead. Like, we literally can't defend the lead whatsoever. Now, the quality of the players is definitely up for discussion. I mean, Franco's written in saying Dyer too unaware of what's going on around him. Ball watches too much to ever be a decent centre-back. I agree. Yeah. Tom, this is a game for Toby. Not a lot of speed up front for Man United. Again, I agree. But for whatever reason... Mein Führer Mourinho has decided that this is what he's going to do.
Clearly, there's clearly something going on behind the scenes. There's no way that this is based on, because obviously there's training. We don't see training every day in terms of their stats and how much they ran and how many. So there's that possibility that Toby in training is not showing what he should. But he played 2 or 3 games for Belgium, all 90 minutes, flawlessly. So how is it possible that a player can turn up for his national team and perform impeccably and return, and he's like, well, nah, something's happened there. And it's bizarre because Toby is not the sort of personality that you would think. Dele, you can kind of understand, but Toby's mature. Toby's been there, done that, played for Atletico Madrid. He's
Belgium.
He's a Belgium. He's a seasoned professional.
One of the best international teams in the world.
Exactly. So for him to have an issue with Jose, I mean, come on. I don't know. Again, it all goes back to manager.
He wanted to sign a contract to stay and play for Jose. Yeah. That's the irony. Yeah. Neo's saying he's obviously fallen out with Toby as well. At this rate, we'll have the kit man and the tea lady playing. Well, if they apply themselves, they might be a bit better than our second half performance. There's so many comments I want to get through. Kevin Murray, some Spurs players were not fit enough towards the end. Sissoko coming on, don't understand that one. Fresh legs, I think was my thought, to be honest, Kevin.
Yeah, he has energy. I guess that's the only thing. It's like Lo Celso's just come back from a long time out. So he comes on, brings a bit of energy. In terms of attacking intent, it's not there, but him coming on, I kind of understood it. In terms of United were starting to dominate midfield, they were getting more and more chances and eventually beat us. But I was okay with that substitution, even if it was Sissoko from a year ago. But Sissoko's form's dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
It was a weird one.
Sissoko's back to pre-decent Sissoko. Which
we'll get what he needs to go. We'll get what for him? Like what, 5 million, 10 million if we sell him on?
Free transfer if you're lucky. I'd have to pay someone to take him away.
He's got 2 more years. I know. In his contract.
Well, we're not going to get a big fee for him at all. If anything, probably he earns too much money. Well,
what's he on? 80?
Probably at least. Sissoko's stiffer than a corpse. Awful. Yeah. Stiffer than Brendan after 12 pints of that Brahma bull and a shitload of Viagra. That's what I'm saying about that. I just don't. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Let's talk positive. Let's talk the goal. Our goal, I thought, best goal we've scored in free play. I think for a long time.
It was a great goal. It was like the build up, Harry finding. I mean, we got lucky with Lindelof miscontrolling it and it going under his foot. But when Lucas got that, I and everyone else, I'm sure, thought shoot, and he didn't, and he passed it. And at the time, I was like, "What are you doing, Lucas? Don't pass it!" Like, oh, hang on,
it was
someone's coming in. It was a great assist. That was like the composure there to sort of be like. Because Lucas, normally he'd shoot there and probably blaze it over or hit it straight at the keeper.
Yeah.
But everyone expected him to shoot. But that assist, that was great. Like I was surprised. Yeah, I'm a Lucas fan, and even I was taken aback by his composure to sort of notice that Son was coming in and just play it across. It was a great goal. It was. I made this weird yelp like. Whatever the opposite of a boner is, I gave my wife one. Like she's just like, "What noise is that?" It was like a like it was just the weirdest noise when that goal went in.
You gave your wife a boner with a weird noise.
The opposite. No, whatever the opposite of a boner is, I gave her one. Like she was just like so disappointed. She was like, "What is that noise?"
So if you managed to turn your missus completely off.
Yeah.
With a weird noise.
I'm not getting anything for a week.
Well, just as well. You are drunk, Brendan. You've got that monitive now. You won't be able to get it up for a week. Matt Gibbons says new coach needed, new head of recruitment needed, and new players needed. Christ, Matt, you're not asking for much, are you? Big summer ahead. Will Levy make the right decisions? Well, what is the right decision right now? I mean, I think you're probably in my camp, Bren. Although, if you've sat any more on the fence, your arse would get splinters. In that, I want Jose out. I'm not too proud to admit that I was wrong, and I think he's just not befitting Spurs right now. He's not representing us very well off the pitch. I think the sort of mind games crap is a load of nonsense. The way he's treating the players is really poor, and I think he's tactically inept. And I never thought I'd say that about Jose Mourinho because he's one of the most decorated managers in world football, who should be a great manager. But like you say, maybe he is yesteryear's man. The reality of all that is, I'm saying we need a new coach. Matt, I'll be really honest with you. I don't think you're going to get a new head of recruitment, and I'm not sure how many ins and outs we're going to get in the summer. That's the truth. But what I would say is, we've got the nucleus, I still believe, of a good squad. We have got some really good players. We just need a really good coach to bring it out of them. I mean, Nagelsmann.
It's a top 4 team.
Yeah,
it's a top 4 team.
Where would we be with Brendan Rodgers in charge?
I think better than where we are now.
I'm just winding up HG, at this point. I'm hoping that he's like watching this and he's going to drop a few expletives in the comment box. But where would we be?
we'd be better off. We'd be in the top 4, I think, if we had Brendan Rodgers. But I'm not saying that I want him as the manager. I just think that he would do a better job than Jose right now. But the question is, the market for managers is quite limited. If we do get rid of Jose, who do we bring in? There's not that many standout options. Everyone says Nagelsmann. He probably will take the Bayern job if their manager does take the national job. So it is the summer's going to be very, very interesting to see who goes where. But I want Jose out, but I just can't. Who do we bring in?
Well, right now, I'll be really honest. I'd take Sam Allardyce over Jose. I'd take anyone over Jose right now, because I just think that I can't see where the next win's coming from, unless it's against a really shit team. I can't see us beating any of the big 6 sides, or Leicester in that group, or West Ham. I mean, West Ham. It's West Ham, man. That's what does my nutting. I can't quite get through to my head. West Ham are above us in the league and punching for Champions League qualification. What happened?
Could you imagine?
When did that happen?
West Ham in the Champions League. That is.
I mean, I thought Everton in the Champions League was embarrassing that one year, but West Ham could. I mean,
they didn't make it though. They didn't make it past the.
No, I know that's what was embarrassing.
Oh, right.
But Joel, go on.
No, I was going to say, we are where we are. I think the league doesn't lie. West Ham have a better collective of players. Leicester as well.
Saying that. I can't listen to it. I can't listen to West Ham being better than us. I can't deal with it.
The league doesn't lie, unfortunately.
Joel is saying top 4 is done. Jose stays and plays the Axeman and is gone in January. And Nagelsmann goes Bayern. So let's get Eric Ten Hag. Now, I must confess, I know shit all about him. Brendan.
He's the Ajax manager. That's about as much as I know. He's he's bald, and he's done all right.
He's bald.
He's bald. But the thing is, we saw with De Boer that Ajax managers doesn't necessarily mean that you're onto a winner. They play good football. They've had amazing players. And I think I want to take their recruitment manager over their actual manager. Similarly with Leipzig, let's get Paul Mitchell back.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the market for managers is quite limited. There's not that many quality standout managers still around. So we want him gone. But who do we get in? And will Kane stay? If we get another manager in, a new project, but if a manager leaves, it's a new process. It's a new bedding in process of a new manager.
Kane's got a 3-year contract. Kane's got a 3-year contract. He can't just walk out. The only way Kane leaves is if he goes on strike. Can you imagine Harry Kane, who's been with the club since he was a wee small boy and wearing an Arsenal shirt? Can you imagine him going on strike? It's not going to happen. He's a professional.
How many years did Berbatov have? How many years did Robbie Keane have? How many years did Carrick have? I think they're professional players, but they saw the malaise and mismanagement at the club, and were like, "Do I really want to stick around for this?" So I'm with you. It's unlikely he will go in the summer, but at the same time, you wouldn't begrudge him if he did, or just say, "Look, let me go." That he's got something in his contract that says, "Look, I can be released if there is continual upheaval." I don't think he'll go, but at the same time, I can understand his frustration that he's given his all for Jose, and it's not worked out. And a new manager comes in. There is still that transition period. There is still a period of bedding in. But he's 28 now, so that he'd be 29, 30 by the time we may be close to the top 4 and may get a couple of trophies here or there. It's a risk for him.
Big risk. Phil Ambrose says, we won't make a change before the end of the season, but if we don't, I fear even Arsenal might finish above us, and that horrible twat Piers Morgan will be gloating once more, although unemployed, horrible twat Piers Morgan. I can't see us making a change before the end of the season, Bren, can you? Let's just rule that one out.
No. We'll ride it out to the end of the season. Top 4 is probably gone now. We got that League Cup final in a couple of weeks, but he won't go unless there's a complete capitulation. We lose every single game and every player's down tools. He'll stay to the end of the season, but it's not worked out. I understood Levy's decision in hiring him. He was the best option available. I think we were forced because Arsenal were sacking Emery at the same time, and whispers behind the scenes, I'm sure, were saying, look, Mourinho might go to Arsenal if you don't act now. I understood the gamble.
Definitely.
But it hasn't paid off.
No, it hasn't paid off. And you know, do you remember in the documentary, Levy says, you know, time will tell whether I was right or wrong. Daniel, memo, you're wrong, mate. Sorry, it hasn't worked out. And unless you're going to sack every player off and bring a load of new ones in, wouldn't surprise me if Didier Drogba was wearing a Tottenham shirt next season. He's wheeled him out of retirement and Frank Lampard's got a job back. But, you know, you just find it hard, really hard to see that he's going to survive the summer. For me, Jose. Really hard to survive the summer. Let's have a look what everyone else is saying.
What's his post-match been? Was he asked post-match about Toby? I might Google
I've not had a chance to review it yet, but you know, who knows? Metcalf says for Jose, same manager, different players. Absolutely. Let's get Louis Campos as sporting director, Eric Ten Hag as manager. Why not? I mean, look, fucking hell. Was Eric Ten Hag the Ajax manager who got him to the Europa League final? Wasn't he?
He was the manager when we played them in the Champions League.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So clearly competent. Yeah.
Again,
TM says, what manager would want to come here? Come on, TM. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world still. Don't let the fact that we are currently shit fool you. Enormous financial powerhouse that is Tottenham Hotspur. Same manager, same result. These players actually deserve more than this. Do the players deserve more though, Bren? Because I've got to be honest, the players have let themselves down a lot, haven't they?
Absolutely, we can't ignore the lack of intensity from them, and you do get that from the manager. But at the same time, you have your own sort of pride in doing your job. My job is in recruitment. I send students from Latin America to an Irish university. I take pride in the fact that I'm sending good numbers, even during COVID, that I'm able to perform, as I'm sure you do. You should have pride in the job you do, but at the same time, you need some inspiration. You need someone managing you that will make you feel like you should be putting in an effort. And the players, a lot of them have let the manager down, but at the same time, the manager has it's his responsibility to motivate them, by and large. But yeah, certain players certainly like that. The defeat against Zagreb was a shambles. The midfield of Sissoko and Winks really didn't care. The defence was just all over the shop.
Go on then. What do you think? What conversation do you think Levy will be having with Jose tonight?
It'll be more what Jose will be saying to Levy, and Jose will be like, "Oh, the players, like if you'd have given me a decent defender in like last year, it might be better." Levy loves Mourinho, and he's wanted him for a long time, even from his first stint at Chelsea.
Yeah, but did he think he was getting busted flush, Jose, when he signed him through the door? He clearly didn't, did he?
Of course he didn't. But I don't begrudge Levy for going for Jose. I would have probably done the same. I begrudge Levy for some of his tactics in the transfer market, where we could right now be sitting here with Bruno Fernandes, Jack Grealish, and Dybala in our team if we'd have just shown a bit of leeway either way. But he doesn't. He's very hard-nosed, very strict, very principled, and there needs to be more flexibility from him in the transfer market. But when it comes to Jose, he was his star. He was so proud when he got Jose to come to the club, and it was a big coup for us. It was, but it's just not worked out. And
well, you know all about big coups in South America, wouldn't you?
I got one coming with this president. Yeah.
Not my president. Peter Wanyama, legend.
Any relation?
Maybe. Moyes doing well with a good team, and also brings up Luke Shaw never used to play under Jose. And West Ham, he goes on to say, West Ham do with average players doing well. So he's got some very good points. And I think it's interesting and telling that two of United's better players today, have been this season, Luke Shaw and Pogba, have actually been transformed this season. And you look at what Moyes has done down the road at West Ham, and it's not about spending shitloads of cash. It's about spending the right money on the right players. Who did we sign? Doherty. And Bale, who doesn't get a game.
Again, those two signings, I didn't complain. I thought they were great signings. But why is he not playing Bale? Doherty's had a stinker and he's injured, thank God. But our recruitment's been poor. We do need to look at that area. Like we spoke about this again on the Jose In Out pod video we did in the week. Can you imagine if you're Dybala, for example, and Steve Hitchin comes to your house to try and sell you Spurs?
January. He wouldn't come in January, that's for sure.
He's strolling in. He's like, I used to work at QPR and Derby. I know what I'm doing here with Paulo Dybala. Sits down with Dybala at his house, and Dybala's like,
cup of tea, mate. Do you want a cup of tea?
Why should I join Tottenham? And he's like, I don't know. I hate my job. I hate this. Why am I here? Like, he's just the most uninspiring person you've ever seen. And he's heading up our recruitment. He's that go-between.
I want to do it. I feel like you were him for a minute, and we should do a role play. Like, Steve, step into my office. You got any sausage rolls? No, not got any sausage rolls, Steve.
What is going on? And we had it so good before. Even Damian Comolli was better than this guy. And Paul Mitchell as well.
Paul Mitchell
he was.
Good.
We sort of laughed. Paul Mitchell was good. We laughed at Comolli, but we got Modric. Okay, Bentley didn't work out. I think Kabul was during that time as well. So some decent players. But with Mitchell, you're kind of like, you don't enjoy your job. What are you doing here? Just fuck off.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. But he's promoted him.
Well, he's clearly deserved it, hasn't he?
He's now the head of recruitment department, apparently. So
who else is in that department? How many people do we have?
Scouts working for him. Network.
Do we really? We do definitely have that. It's not just him.
Have it. Well, most teams do. Most teams have about 12 to 15 people, don't they? You know, scouting team.
We let go our sort of Moneyball guy. He went to Liverpool because he was a Liverpool fan.
That's right.
He had a really good, like, it was all into the analytics of everything and stats and all that. And he went to Liverpool. look what happened there.
Yeah.
And we let the guy. So we replaced him with this Dr. No twat.
Joel says Dybala, Grealish, Diaz, Bruno. That's just the last 2 years minus the myriad out of other players lost because Levy believes himself to be Donald J. Trump. Yeah, yes, sir. You've just won the cheese room mug that hasn't been made yet, but it's on its way to you. Look, I think we summarise. We can overreact. The first half. If we played like the first half and the second half, we'd have won, wouldn't we?
I'm kind of with you a bit. I thought the first half was quite even. They got that goal, which we were lucky to get let off there. So I still think the first half was quite even. You seem to think that we had a great first half. I thought it was okay. We started off well.
Signs of encouragement. I suppose maybe I'm getting a bit giddy, but anything was good compared to the recent shit.
But the thing is, like, when was the first shot on target? It was what, half an hour, I think? Was it their disallowed goal? I think was the first shot on target. So it was quite cagey first half. So we competed in a cagey half hour. So fair enough. But I mean, second half, it was the inevitability of it. I don't think there was that big a difference in our performance between the halves, if I'm honest. I just thought that they continued to push us back. They dominated midfield. And you could just see it happening. You could see it happening with the defense that he chose. You know there's mistakes in there. and Cavani's header for the winner. Like their equaliser was again, it was Fred. I think a good save from Hugo, but
soft
again. It was soft. Where was the defender? The defender needs to be closer to the goalkeeper when he makes that save, so to clear. If he does parry it, to clear it, and he wasn't. It was the easiest goal for Fred. He wasn't scored in 3 fucking years, so it was frustrating. But it was coming. They deserved that equaliser, I'd say, on the balance of play. But the second goal was dire. What are you doing? Just look around you. Look around. And he didn't.
Well, he hasn't done all season, has he? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what. I can't actually understand why we persist on Dyer as a centre-back. As, you know, it's been touched on in the comments already. You know, we he just can't deal with any lateral movement, any pace coming at him. You know, the guy's a liability with the best will in the world. And you got Toby there, sat on the bench, Belgium's first choice centre-back. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I can't... I just get very frustrated about it. Yeah. So, look, Brent, when can we next hear your dulcet tones? Because I'm going to wrap this up shortly. We've been going for 50 minutes now, and I think we hopefully everyone watching feels a little bit better.
Yeah, it's been cathartic for me. I'll be doing a review of the Everton game on Friday. It's weird. We got a Friday kickoff, which is weird. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be reviewing the Everton game. We've got the pod coming out tomorrow morning, for reviewing this game. So I'll be doing the Everton game with Jesse from Colorado Spurs in the US, and probably you.
That's if I'm kind enough to give up my time. I'm not sure about that. But, you know, we'll absolutely be back this week. I think they're going to record this evening, and Franco's hosting the show. Neo, I feel worse. Sorry, Neo. Franco's hosting the show tonight. Sorry, to try and get the podcast done and get through the game, and he'll break down where it all went wrong. So, look, in the meantime, thanks very much for watching the Cheese Room. And, come on, you Spurs. Please, come on.
Come on, you Spurs. Up the Spurs.